just help us to get back here with him. Help us to get
I'm just glad y'all didn't get it. Like, I'm so
I would have been freaked out.
1 minute, 1 minute.
And I was coming out of the
Chris
pocket.
Bailey, 66.
I got to looking at my map. These things freaking this big. And I'm like, this thing's out of water like this high.
I missed Chris Bailey. Yep, got you now. Thank you.
And I'm like,
67, Jay Current. Got you, Jay.
I look around like, oh,
Todd Castledine, 110. Yep. White Ranger coming. Get him on it. Thank you.
What are you doing here, Todd? 445. Thank you, buddy. Hold on, we'll look deals with you. All right. Good luck, guys. Put it right there. Might just throw at this one dot.
You on now?
We might just throw at this one dot.
Okay.
I couldn't remember how far it is away from everything else.
baby.
All right, guys, I hate to do this. I hate to show y'all this. It's the first time it's ever happened to me in 3 years. Couldn't tell you what's happened. I don't understand it. And I really, I guess I could ask someone, but it's too late now. So I'm gonna show y'all what happened on day one. This is kind of what everything looks like on my screen. Okay, and so each of these right here are clips, 17-minute clips of the day. When I get to this clip right here, and it shows my fish, it shows me fishing. It's going, boom. Then it just stops. As you can see, for whatever reason, it kept recording. But every one of these clips, it never goes past. Look at this. See me going? It should be going. It should be moving in every one of these. Look. It never stopped recording. It just never showed anything more than past that point. So all I have is the first hour and a half. I wanted to make this Grand Lake video. When I started my little trip, you know, I had Smith. A week or two later, I had Grand, and then I had Pickwick. And I was going to be able to show everything, every practice, every day. So far, I've caught them in every day pretty good. Got checks. And day one was actually my better day. It was the day I caught probably 10 keepers. I caught a 5-pounder. That was really cool. I had a lot to tie in to what happened on day one, which will tie into my practice videos, which ultimately ties into my juice video, which I'm still gonna do. I've thought about this. I still wanna make a day one. So I'm gonna do the best I can, and there's some footage in there of practice I'm gonna put in there, and I'm gonna explain where I caught some of these fish, where I caught some, what happened. I know, guys, it's not the same as showing the actual deal. There's nothing I can do about that. Apologize, I guess, you know. Normally I can tell when it stops recording, but like I said, I had no idea. It kept recording. Everything looked normal. I didn't realize it till I got back. So I'll do the best I can. I understand if some of y'all don't want to watch the rest of the video. Totally get it. Totally understand. But I'll do my best to explain what happened on day one and tie everything else in. So if you like, keep watching, guys. I'll do the best I can. All right, so still early in the morning. I just catch that fish. And like I said, I'm kind of going back and forth, top watering and flipping a jig. And I just kind of keep doing that. I'm just trying to figure out how long I need to do this top water deal. Well, I did catch another one down a bank in between two boat docks. Both these two boat docks, they're kind of far away from each other, so there was kind of a long bank. I never practiced it in practice, and I catch one. So I've got two now on a top water, and that kind of like, I don't really think about it too much, man, because everything in practice leads me to believe it's this jig bite on boat docks. So that's kind of where we're headed at right now at the moment. That's what's going on in my head. All right, so I'm fishing these set of docks again. These are a set of docks in a pocket that I got bit on day two early in the morning. And I only had two places like this. And just so happens it was the first two places that I wouldn't say it was the first two places that I fished, but it was close. And for whatever reason, I had big bites on both these places. And everywhere else, I might have had one here or there, but this was one of the few places I had multiple big bites. Like, they bit different, they hit different. It was noticeable, and it was funny throughout the tournament on day one. I only got big bites in two places, and it was here and the place I started. So I come here pretty quick. I've only got two, but that's really not that bad considering it's Grand Lake. So I'm showing you practice, and here's what I want to show you, okay? As we move on, I don't get bit on those docks. And I don't get bit, but if you look right, okay, you see that rail coming in the water? I threw on that rail and caught a 5-pounder. And I bring this up because if you watch on this flip right here, underneath that dock, hold on, you'll see it. Right there, I got her on right now. I have one on. You can see my rod's bending, see her pulling on it. I'm still pulling. And now she lets go. It's the same fish, guys. Guaranteed, same fish. All it had done was move probably about 10 to 15 foot. It moved from the front of that to that rail, and I caught it. It was a 5. Guaranteed same fish, I promise you. And I'll explain why later, and it's why I shake fish off. I mean, this is one of the lakes I think shaking fish off is a big deal. So that's it. That's the only bite I have. But now I got a 5-pounder. Now I got something to work with. All right, now I go into this other little pocket. I fished like 5 or 6 of these pockets, and where this one was, where I shook this fish off on this boat ramp, I had in practice I had told you I had 3 bites in there. One of them I didn't think was very big. There was like 4 or 5 pockets like that I would hit, and some of them I didn't hit in practice. I realized it was going to I was going to hit them, and my co-angler had caught 3, I think, out of that one pocket. This pocket right here, I went in, and then I had like back-to-back bites. Like I caught one on one boat dock. It was my 4th keeper, and then I turned around to the next boat dock and flipped over there and caught my other one. It was really the only 2 fish I caught off boat docks the entire tournament. When I say that, like flipping them like I had been doing for 4 days or 3-4 days, it had been consistent of me flipping these boat docks, and it started to change. It's changed like it always does, and I couldn't tell you why. Pressure, something makes them move, and maybe they just got tired of seeing a bait go down by these boat docks, and maybe they moved to like that rail and some other things. But either way, I'm starting to figure out that might be the case, but I haven't figured it out yet, because I just did get 2 bites doing it. So now I got to do it some more, but we'll figure that out later on in the day. That I'm kind of starting to piece some things together. All right, so I kind of run this pattern for a while. Pockets, docks, it's not happening. Like, it's not really doing anything. I did catch one on a rage swimmer. I caught 2 on a rage swimmer in the tournament. One, some fish started just schooling on me off on this point, on this last boat dock, and then a point happened, and they came up, and I threw a rage swimmer. I think I caught one in cold. Not by much though, just a couple ounces. And then after that, they came up in the back of a pocket somewhere. I caught one. I think it was a big spot. I don't think it cold. So I did catch a couple more, and I think I caught another keeper doing something else. I'm not really sure. But I was really interested in those big ones, okay? And where I caught the 5-pounder, that was special to me. And then where I started the morning, that was special. Like, that's where I had these big bites. So I continually hit those spots. Like, I went back to them multiple times in a day. If y'all know me, I don't know if y'all realize, if y'all watch my videos, I fish fast and I cover water. It is hard for me to go back over water I've already hit, but I was like, man, I've been doing this for 3 or 4 days. There's only a couple places. There's 2 that I felt that there was more than one random fish in there that was a big one. So I don't have this one place where I shook one off on video, but the second time I went there, guys, there's a walkway there, and I had gotten bit underneath that walkway. And then it kind of makes a bend right there, an inside bend where to another stall. So you kind of had to go in between there, and there was a lot of bank to fish right there. Even though you don't move, you could throw at the bank a lot, right? Because there's an inside bend. So I'm throwing up there, and flipping up on the bank doesn't feel right to me, because there's nothing there. It's just bank. There's nothing to throw at. So I kind of like messing around, like throwing my jig up there and just kind of swimming it back. When I tell you, I flipped about 20 yards from where she bit, and I made about 3 hops swimming it, you know, and this fish just comes out of the water and nosedives like dolphins. I see the whole thing right on the swim jig, because my swim jig's only that far under the water, and even though it's dirty, I see the whole thing, just giant commotions. And I mean, I reeled down to set the hook. I never set the hook, never touched it. And I was going, you got to be kidding me, man. I couldn't believe this. So that's where I'm at now. And that starts kind of like bringing me this like swim jig jig thing. Like maybe they're not on bottom, maybe they're not on these docks, maybe they're in between, or something. I don't know. Something that one bite started going, why wasn't it underneath the walkway, or why wasn't it on the dock, right? Why was it out here? And something's changing, and I realized it right then and there. All right, so this is the day one footage, right? That morning of me throwing a topwater down this bank in this boat dock. And I caught one on the other side of this boat dock on a topwater. I bring this back up because, once again, I find myself in this area again, trying to catch a big one. And what was crazy was I came up to this dock again, and I didn't feel like flipping it. And I picked up a jig. Like I said, this isn't the footage, but it's the same place. And underneath that walkway, I throw that jig and it hits the water, and I start swimming out of there. And once again, a giant freaking just gets all over it, back comes out of the water, does a big circle, like swirls on it. I felt something. I set the hook and I bowed up something just a little bit, but not enough to like get a hook. I don't know what happened. A lot of times they'll hold on to it from the side or from the pinchers, and you do feel something, but you never really feel it load, like hook into anything, like where you get her a long time. You just set the hook, your rod bows up just for a split second, and then nothing. Now I'm kind of sick because I'm like, man, those two right there put me in the top 3 spot after day one, because I already have a 5-pounder. I've got small ones in there, so they're going to cull a bunch. And I feel good that I'm figuring some things out, but I know I'm not gonna get many chances like that. Like I feel like those were my last 2 chances of the day, and they worked. They worked. It was the 3rd time I hit this dock, and it was pretty late in the day. And then I started kind of running fast and trying to do some stuff, but you know, you only get in tournaments like this where it's hard to get a bite. You're trying to get 5. There was only like 30 something limits on day 1, 36 maybe. There was only 22 on day 2 out of 225. I mean, a bite is a big deal, and I have 2 of them now that I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I don't think it was color. I don't think it was anything, and I'll explain why I don't think it was, because it's day 2. So, and I'm not going to give away day 2, but guys, that's day 1. That's day 1. I weighed in 5 for 12 something. I think I'm in the 20s. 20 something spot, I can't remember. Had almost 13 pounds. I'm in great shape. I know what could have been, and then guys, I know it's a tournament, but I know what could have been. But I feel fairly confident about tomorrow. But I realized after tomorrow, the next day 2, I realized that I missed something. And I didn't really realize it till after, but I changed some stuff up and gave myself a chance at maybe a pretty big bag as well, and we'll go over that. So get ready for day 2. It might not be it'll be more entertaining than this, because there will be a little bit more footage of me actually catching fish. But anyways, see y'all guys.